Welcome to Business on Top, where women are building empires, becoming breadwinners, and redefining the dynamics of their households without a playbook. I'm Kaeli Lindholm, mom, wife, founder, and leadership advisor to a portfolio of female-owned businesses generating over $100 million in annual revenue. Most business advice was never designed for women leading and building at this level. That's why each week I'll open the vault and share a leadership lesson from real experience, so you can navigate the decisions you're making every day with confidence. If you're a serious female founder and leadership feels messy right now, you're in the right place. We are rewriting the rules for this next era of how women lead and build. This is Business on Top. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to Business on Top, episode number 10. Today, I want to talk about a really important business lesson that I think I learned as an employee, and I want to kind of come to you with some big sister love if you are a team member who works for a founder-led business. And that lesson is, if you want to be a great leader, first you need to be a great follower. And I was thinking about this as I was on a walk with my dogs a few weeks ago. And to be honest, I was in my head a little bit because it just so happened to be a day that I woke up at 6 a.m. and had a slew of probably each team member on my team. So I had maybe 7, 8 different sort of fire drills or problems that needed urgent solving. And this isn't the norm. It just sort of happened to be a domino of things that had been going on. And it was a tornado of problems that needed my attention. And as you can imagine, waking up in the morning to just a bunch of problems, it's not that easy as a founder and leader to shut those things down and show up with a big smile on your face. And, I think it's important as an employee in a business to understand that while your leader is working really hard to put on a brave face and to show up as their best self for you every single day, they're also a human being. And they're also dealing with the same challenges that you might have at home and with, personal things, their friends, their aging parents, the things that we humans all deal with. And they may not always, while they would have the best of intentions, show up and, demonstrate the very best leadership for you. But that doesn't mean that they don't care. And so I want to just say, number one, to have empathy for your founder, because they're probably waking up to urgent messages about things that fell through the cracks, that were missed, problems that they have to solve. This is what their everyday looks like, making huge decisions for the company that have massive impact on people's financial health and well-being, and ultimately the total health of the business. The second sort of thing I want to talk about is how you can advance yourself and your leadership. So women will come to me all the time and say, I'm making so much money for my company and I want to start my own business. Or I'm not being recognized for that promotion, or I feel like I'm worth a lot more and I want to make more money. And I want to tell you this from my experience as somebody who's climbed the corporate ladder with zero experience out of college up to leading an entire Western United States and multi-million dollars worth of business. If you want to make more money, become more valuable to your boss. Too many people are trying to make a sales pitch of why they deserve more money, when I can tell you with 100% certainty as a leader, the person who makes my job easier is the person who's going to learn from me, going to grow, going to develop better skills, and to become a more valuable employee in the company, and therefore creating a greater aptitude and possibility for earning income. So if you want to make more money, maybe just flip your mindset. Rather than thinking about what's in it for me, think about how can I become more valuable for my leader, and you ultimately will make more, not only more money, but develop more skills that will give you more earning power the rest of your life. The third point is some advice that I would have to somebody who is thinking about how they want to advance in their career. And I would highly advise you to focus on learning first and making money second. And the reason is that the more valuable you are, the more money you make. And so look for jobs and experiences and opportunities and special projects within your role to get better. Because when you get better, you become more valuable and then the income will follow. I also will say that the thing that I know makes even women who are running and building multi-million-dollar businesses more successful than, let's say, some of their colleagues are the ones who constantly invest in their personal and professional growth. They understand and know that success comes by becoming better. Adversities will happen. There are going to be things you don't know how to do, especially when you're building a company, right? And maybe you in your role and where you're looking to grow that you've never done before. You're literally figuring it out as you go, building the plane as you fly it. And so you have to become very resourceful at finding solutions, at thinking outside the box, of asking for more, right? When someone tells you, no, it can't be done, don't settle for that. Ask why not. And as an employee, if somebody comes to me and the first conversation they want to have is about the salary and how much money they're going to make, I question really how much growth they're looking for. I want to hear somebody come to me and tell me that they want to be challenged, that they want to expand, that they want to become better, because those are the qualities that are going to help you become more valuable in your role. Those are the things that whether you go to a different company, you start your own company, whatever you do in the world, you're going to be able to make more money because you have more agency, more skills, and more resources that you've learned by figuring it out. So if you're in a situation where you're looking to join a company or you want to advance in your existing role in your company, ask yourself first, where can I learn? Where can I become better? And how can I be a more valuable, skilled employee in my role? And trust me, the money will follow. Okay, my fourth point in this podcast is that you have to understand that founder-led companies will plateau at the competency of their founder. So your job as a team member should be finding capacity and space for expansion for your founder to learn and grow and excel, because that is going to be the way that they ultimately can ideate, innovate, and drive vision for the company. When the company grows, the employees grow. So I want you to really think about that. I think sometimes in the past, I've looked at my bosses and been like, well, how come they're sitting up in their corner office and have all this time to answer the phone and I'm running around scrambling, doing a million things and, struggling here. And you can't possibly understand the vantage point and the perspective of a founder in terms of the responsibility and the weight that they have on them. And their ability to find space to think and plan and build and create is what's going to make your experience in your business better, because they're going to be able to bring fresh ideas, a better perspective, show up in a better state of mind, and be the kind of leader that you need to do more in your own role and truly for them to be a leader that you would want to follow. And so I advise as an employee, if you're somebody that wakes up every day and thinks about how can I make my boss's job easier, I can't emphasize that enough. You're going to be an extraordinarily valuable employee, somebody who will be recognized and will earn more and will have a better experience in your business. All right. And then my final piece of advice for you is to understand the concept of attention filters. Your leader is exercising extreme discipline every single day to make sure that her attention is focused on the highest priority items. So when you ask for her input for something or put something in the front of her line for feedback or for her to come up with a decision, you need to remember that she's most likely getting that from 6 or 10 other team members, contractors, all the things about running the business that you can't see in your periphery or your vantage point. And so now all of a sudden your priority, imagine that one thing, she's got 10 of those, right? Other team members, are asking for things, and they're putting things in front of her too. And so she has all of these high priority items that are not even her priority. So if you don't hear back from her or you're not getting the answers you need, it's likely a signal that you should design a mechanism to be able to make those decisions independently, or respect that that decision is likely not something that's urgent to help the business move forward in terms of priorities for today. And take that upon yourself as an employee to ask, how can I create a system, or how can I learn a new skill or collaborate and communicate and bring resources to help me be able to be that decision maker in my role. If your boss and your founder is telling you, like, I want to make all these decisions and have the final say on things, you can show her that you actually are and want to and have the confidence to call some shots, and that, ultimately your failure or your maybe making a wrong decision or stepping right off the wrong path it's going to help you learn and grow. And so learn how to fail forward. And I think just remember that your founder has a million things to on her mind, and she's constantly doing this filter every single day, every hour of where is my time going to be best spent. And so don't take it personally if she's not, on the same page with you, and know that she has the best of intentions for you, for the company, and for everybody's well-being and growth. All right, leader, that's all I have for today. I hope that these are just some things that you might consider and think about, and will help you have a little bit more empathy for your founder and recognize that what you invest in yourself is going to directly bring more value both to you and to the business. And that's where your goals are going to be best met, and your growth will happen too. So if you want to be a great leader, be a great follower. If you are listening to this and something in you is stirring, I want you to know this is exactly where the work begins. This is the space between where you've been leading reactively and where you are being asked to lead from a new framework. And the truth is that next level of leadership doesn't come from more information. It comes from putting yourself in rooms and environments that challenge how you think, how you decide, and how you show up inside of your business. That's exactly why we built the Pop Leadership Academy. It's a space for founders who are no longer looking for surface level strategy, but who are ready to evolve how they lead, how they build, and how they scale so the businesses they create can fully support the life they want to live inside of. You can learn more about the Pop Leadership Academy and apply through the link in show notes. And in the meantime, get more inspiration delivered directly to your inbox through my weekly briefing, The Blueprint, at klcleadership.com/blueprint. Until next time, keep leading life first and business on top.